To understand the history of modern Israel, especially the critical period around its founding, one cannot overlook David Ben-Gurion, who is known as the founding father of modern Israel. David Ben-Gurion was born in October 1886 in Plonsk, Poland, into a wealthy Jewish family, originally named David Grun. At the age of 17, he joined the Pole Zion, Workers of Zion, party, becoming a committed Zionist. In 1906, at the age of 20, Ben-Gurion immigrated to Palestine during the Second Aliyah, determined to realize his Zionist ideals through practical settlement. He had a great love for reading and mastered several languages. On one occasion, he was so engrossed in a book while herding cattle that he only realized later that the cows had wandered off to graze elsewhere. In 1910, he became the editor of the Pole Zion publication Hadut, Unity, and adopted the Hebrew surname Ben-Gurion. In 1915, due to his Zionist activities, he was expelled from Ottoman Palestine and went to the United States with his friend, Yitzhak Ben Zvi, who would later become Israel's second president, to engage in Zionist advocacy and mobilization. In 1916, he married Paula, a nurse from Russia, in New York, and they eventually had 3 children. In 1918, Ben-Gurion joined the Jewish Legion of the British Army, returning to Palestine, now under British mandate. In 1921, he was elected secretary of the Jewish Workers' Union, Histadrut, a post he held for 14 years, during which he demonstrated exceptional organizational and leadership skills. In the summer of 1923, as a representative of Palestinian workers, he traveled to Moscow, USSR, to participate in an international agricultural exhibition, staying for 3 months and visiting many locations. While he did not fully endorse the Soviet revolutionary model, he admired Lenin, considering him a great leader. Through Ben-Gurion's persistent efforts, the 2 Jewish labor parties in Palestine merged in 1930 to form the Palestine Labor Party, Mapai, with Ben-Gurion as its leader. In August 1935, at the Zionist Congress, Chaim Weizmann was re-elected as president of the World Zionist Organization, while Ben-Gurion was elected chairman of the executive committee and head of the Jewish Agency, jointly taking control of the Zionist movement. Ben-Gurion's thinking reflected typical Zionist logic. For the Jewish people, the world was unsafe and unwelcoming. Security and peace would not be handed to them. Jews had 2 choices: either forego peace to ensure survival or pursue peace and risk annihilation. Therefore, Zionism had a clear direction: to establish a safe homeland for Jews worldwide. Zionists, for this purpose, had to sacrifice the luxury of peace, becoming a unique group of people. Ben-Gurion valued pragmatism. To his left were idealist Zionists with strong socialist leanings, often lost in abstract discussions. To his right were action-oriented, extremist Zionists, brave but lacking political foresight. Ben-Gurion believed that statehood could only be achieved through practical action while keeping future goals clear. He identified the real political conflict in Palestine. Both Jews and Arabs aimed to be the majority population. Thus, he focused on encouraging Jewish immigration to Palestine to secure demographic majority. In 1937, in response to unrest in Palestine, Britain proposed a partition plan, the Peel Commission, to create separate Arab and Jewish states. Ben-Gurion immediately recognized the profound significance of a state and voiced his support. He once said, "Zionism is not walking on a strong rope, but on a hair. Whenever there is a chance for statehood, it must be seized immediately, or it will slip away." However, in May 1939, to appease the Arabs, Britain issued a white paper limiting Jewish immigration and land purchases. Ben-Gurion and others considered action, even force, to pressure Britain, but after careful consideration, Jewish leaders agreed the priority was fighting Nazi Germany, while exercising restraint toward Britain. When World War II broke out in September 1939, The Jewish Agency in Palestine issued a statement expressing full support for Britain while continuing to pursue the right to establish a national homeland. In 1940, Ben-Gurion proposed his famous slogan, "Palestinian Jews would oppose the white paper as if there were no war, and fight Germany as if there were no white paper." That summer, he went to London to persuade Britain to allow the formation of a Jewish army. He was deeply impressed by the British people's resilience under Nazi bombings, while recognizing that the war would reshape world order, shifting Western leadership from Britain to the United States, and that Zionism needed American support. Because Weizmann continued a moderate diplomatic course and had not settled in Palestine, dissatisfaction with the pro-British strategy grew among Zionists. The new generation of leaders, led by Ben-Gurion, believed Britain had seriously backtracked on the Balfour Declaration and that political focus should shift to the United States. In May 1942, a Zionist conference was held at the Biltmore Hotel in New York. The radicals, led by Ben-Gurion and American Zionist leaders, prevailed, formally proposing the Biltmore Program, which demanded open immigration to Palestine and the establishment of a Jewish state. This marked the transfer of leadership from the pro-British to the pro-American faction within the Zionist movement. After the war, Ben-Gurion concluded, although Britain had won, it was weakened by the conflict, and international political focus had shifted to the United States, which housed the largest and most influential Jewish community in the world. Known for his foresight, decisiveness, and clarity of purpose, Ben-Gurion possessed the qualities necessary to make firm decisions in a complex situation. For these reasons, he is honored as the founding father of modern Israel.